waiting on the hurricane? It's not supposed to be here for several hours. Hey, Chrissy. Chrissy. Oh, she sees a deer across the road. She's not going to pay attention to me. She's like, hold on, there's a deer. She's like, I got to be prepared. I might have to go jump the wall and chase them. Let's not be jumping the wall, okay? I know, Miss Willow. Raleigh is not helping us prepare for the hurricane. He is holding down that dog bed and doing an excellent job at it. Hey, Raleigh, are you ready for the hurricane? He's like, I'm ready. But doesn't he have the best view in the house? So that's his view out the window. He gets to see the garden and the lake. Good morning and welcome back to Heather's greenhouse. So Hurricane Debby is going to make landfall over the Florida Panhandle and then head toward the Carolinas. So I'm just going to get a little bit of footage, just kind of document what the garden looks like before the hurricane gets here. So we do have a bee out this morning. Let's see if I can catch him. All right. So this bed continues to be a jungle mess. I like wabi sabi, but I still might get out here and just do a little bit of cleanup. Not for aesthetics, but more for the plants. I don't want them to get crowded and, limit each other's thriving. Plus, see this right here? This is cleome. I did not plant any of this year. This was all volunteer. They put out all these seed pods and they dropped thousands of seeds. The challenge with them is they have little hooked thorns that hurt like crazy. If they didn't have thorns, I'd love them. But yeah, I can't handle the thorns. So I might come in and cut all those out and see if I can reduce the number I'm going to have next year. They've already gone to seed. I don't know if you can see here. Yeah, that's just one seed pod. So I might be stuck with cleome. Real quick before I look at the rest of the garden, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to throw this cleome seed out here. This is a weedy mess. The reason why it's a weedy mess is because it is on the outside of the fence. And the deer absolutely eat any and everything I put in there, with the exception of the mint. So I think I'm going to let the mint go crazy there on purpose, just because it's the only thing I can get to grow that the deer don't eat. Plus I have all of my... So I've got my rain barrel and I've got 2 compost bins there. The smell of the rosemary that's right there and the mint helped keep critters and pests away. Oh yeah, this tomato plant. So I did not cut the tomato plant out. I figured I'd let it just go in place. But you can see it looks really bad. That Japanese maple's getting gobbled up a little bit. The sunshine ligustrum. And you can see I did cut the one down on the end. And I cut it back, and I cut it back hard because I have a hose bib that I have to access right there. The tea plant is doing really well. So this tea plant, this is its second summer. I sit it out here where it gets kind of semi-sun. It's not full sun, it's not full shade. And then I bring it in during the winter. So usually in October, November, before the first frost, I'll bring it inside. Inside means a 3-season porch, so it's not getting pampered during the winter. But it's enough to keep it warm enough to live. And this little half moon bed, it is still struggling. The insect damage was just massive this year in here. But you can see also I had to stake back the gladolia. I don't cut the gladolia leaves back until after they turn brown. So you can see like these over here are starting to turn yellow, and then they'll turn brown, and then I'll come in and I'll just cut those all off right above the ground and just tidy them up. But before that, I leave them alone. So that canna get beat up by the wind a little bit. Then let's see. Do we have... Oh, we got a little bit of green. Something's poking its head up and saying hello. Nothing in that section yet. And nothing in that section yet. But that's okay, it'll come. And that looks to be like another gladolia. You can see I've got more than a few gladolia throughout this garden. I just love them. They're so pretty. Then in this bed, we have some things popping their head up already. And those are baby radish. So that's something that I like to do while I'm waiting for things to pop up, is I like to throw radish seeds in. Radish seeds are about a 30-day germination to harvest. And so I can throw radish seeds in here and harvest them before a lot of this stuff is really starting to come up and take hold. So it gives me something that is a short-term little dopamine boost with, hey, I got something out of this bed already. So that's just a little tip or trick. While you're waiting on your plants, maybe throw some radish seeds in. And this bed is doing pretty good. Oh, I have a sleeping bee. I don't know if you could see that or not, but that bee is asleep on that zinnia plant. Ah, and I did harvest my birdhouse gourd just because I knew the storm was coming. I didn't know how bad the winds were going to be. I didn't know how bad the wind would blow everything around and maybe tear this plant up. So I did harvest the one birdhouse gourd that I had. I'm just going to leave the plant. It's kind of gone through my herb garden here. It's coming out the other side of the basil. If I do get another birdhouse gourd, like this right here, if it does grow, I'll be honest, I don't know how big it's gonna get. I think it'll do well. We'll have to wait and see. So these are all the marigolds that I had grown from seed in a pot, and I literally just dumped them in this bed. I did not prepare the bed properly, so I am very pleased that the marigolds are doing as well as they are. I will probably need to get in here at some point and just add some compost. I mean, I've got gaps. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got gaps where there are holes that I didn't have any dirt. So I used all of the garden soil on the new raised beds, and I didn't have any left. Now I do have compost, I just hadn't taken the time to go and get it, and I need to. Look at that gladiolus. It is white, and I don't know if you can see down in there, it's got little purple streaks. That is so pretty. Oh, there's 3 of them blooming. And with that pink zinnia, that looks so good. All right, these definitely need to make it inside a vase in my house. And another sleeping bee. He needs to wake up and get prepared for the hurricane. It'll be here in a couple of hours. And I do want to check on my peony back here. I've shown you the peony in the courtyard, and it is really sunburned and struggling. This peony doesn't look quite as bad, but it is kind of surrounded by other plants that protect it from sunburn and sun scald. So maybe that's the trick to having peonies in zone 8. Is to give them some sun protection. And that weeping amaranth is just beautiful. Oh, the hibiscus is getting ready to bloom. So hibiscus is like a daylily. It blooms for one day. That one flower blooms for one day. But it is so showy. It is so stunning. It is so gorgeous. It is absolutely worth it. And the iris bed, goodness, I need to get in there and weed that. I think there's more grass than there are iris at this point. And that purple plant right there is called a Mexican petunia. They are extremely invasive, so if you ever get any, just be aware they spread like crazy. They're very pretty and the hummingbirds love them. So I do leave some, but they do spread absolutely wild. And here's the fig tree that I didn't know figs got that big. I'll be honest with you, I thought figs were bushes because they always were where I lived in the upstate when I was little. I don't know if I'm going to have to move that one or not because it's already starting to get massive. But I do love figs, so I will be keeping it. Look at that beautiful jungle. And there's the greenhouse in the background. And the baptisia doesn't have a leaf left. But I'm hoping it will come back next year. There's one little sad caterpillar that's left. He's a sad caterpillar because he's the only one left, and there's, again, not a single leaf left on this baptisia. The hibiscus right behind it is doing good. Hibiscus and hydrangeas both love wet water feet. They don't want to be in water. They don't grow in water. Let me be very clear. But they enjoy extra hydration. So I've got the hibiscus here with the hydrangeas so that I can give them extra water because they're kind of similar in that respect. And I don't know if you can see the grasshopper. And I know grasshoppers do eat your plants, they eat the foliage. But like the caterpillars, I'm just going to leave him. I'm going to let nature take care of him. Or, you know, if that one grasshopper is able to make sufficient damage to that hibiscus, then maybe I'll consider a chemical, I don't know. But you can tell I was willing to sacrifice my baptisia to the caterpillars because I just did not want to spray chemicals. I'm very proud of the fact that I bought this property 3 years ago and I have never used chemicals. That hummingbird, let's see. I don't know if you saw him or not right before he flew away, but I have several hummingbird. There's one of them that will come right up and buzz right past my head. and I think that's him. But he won't stick around long. He's very flighty. And here's our little toad friend. I don't know if you can see him. Good morning, Toad. Well, he's hiding. We'll leave him alone. But the hostas and the ferns are absolutely loving all the extra water that they've been getting lately. And that pot that we potted up the other day together is doing really well. Coleus is loving where it gets sun and then shade in the afternoon. Look at the streaks on that Coleus. That is gorgeous. And the underplanted, these are begonias. They're doing pretty good. But I love the colors in this area because you have the chartreuse, creeping genie. You got the coleus. I think that's called wandering dew, that purple plant in that little wooden wheelbarrow. And it is invasive and will creep, but the creeping genie kind of keeps it under control. And I love the color combination of the purple and the chartreuse together. Then you do have the tea plant with the red. That is a lilac. Now lilacs don't typically do well in zone 8. This is supposed to be one that is supposed to have less chill hours. It hasn't bloomed yet, but it's also still fairly small. This is only its second year, and I got it and it was like 3 inches tall. So I'm going to give it a chance to grow and see what it is able to do. And y'all, can I just say, the view of the garden down to the lake is just absolutely gorgeous.